If you understand the scale of emotions, you can literally create anything that you want in this life. And I went through a massive spiritual awakening in 2018, and I read this book called Power versus Force, and it completely changed my reality going forward since 2018. Understanding that we basically go through school and we don't learn about emotions, we don't learn about consciousness and how we literally create our realities. But because we grow up with our families that are usually very unconscious, and we go to school systems that don't really give us the tools to understand how life works, we often end up in jobs we hate. We have trouble with money. We have trouble with our relationships in life because we're just simply not taught these amazing things about how this life on earth actually works. So I want to first commend you for watching this video, and I want to share a couple of examples of what happened to me last week that to ground this out, because we all know about the different emotions, or at least somewhat about them. And if all we literally have to do is just become more aware of how we're feeling with these emotions in each moment. Because no one's gonna be always feeling love and joy and enlightenment, but the goal is to be up there more of the time. And I'm gonna share in this video how you can do that. So last week, let me just step back first. I'm gonna kind of share with you in this video about what I'm going through right now in my life. And I've been able to create a lot in my life. I have my soulmate. I have a wife. I met her about 3 years ago. We have a son named Miko. He's gonna be 2 in June. So I have a small family. I would say, great health. I do what I love to do, which is create content. And I also do consulting for different people. And I'm growing my own consulting on the side as well. So I came a long way from being a shy, introverted kid, very nerdy, very bad at communicating to people. I didn't have any success with girls until like after college when I came across my wife and everything. So I've come a long way, and I'm working on my finances now as well, and I want to share with you guys all I'm doing like on this channel. I want to be a little more vulnerable with you guys and take you inside my life a little bit. So what I've been doing actually is I switched my job recently from doing health insurance consulting, which was really boring for me. It wasn't that fulfilling, to now I'm getting into what's called high ticket sales, which is essentially like you're selling consulting and coaching for other coaches that are like at a higher price point. And so I've been applying the last few weeks for different roles. And there was this one last week that I was interviewing with that I really, really wanted. And on Friday morning, I was told that I didn't get the job. I didn't get the offer. And I was a little bit bummed out. And I actually went to the park with my wife Hazel and my son Miko, and I was just really in a rut. And we were at the park, and my wife and my son were over there. They were playing on the playground and stuff, and all the different like swings and everything. And I was just like not with them. I was kind of on the side because I was in a bad mood. I was like very grumpy because of this job that I wanted that kind of fell through. And what I realized was it was almost like I was teleported back to my childlike self. When you're a kid and maybe your parents are being mean to you, or you're just upset as a kid, and you kind of like throw a fit. You kind of just don't say anything. Maybe you go to your room and you slam the door and you just like go in your bed and you just like kind of like poor me, like like the victim mentality. And all of us as a kid have done this, right? But we can do this still as adults. And I realized last week at the park I was doing that. My wife and my son were playing together, and I was over here like across the playground just by myself on the bench, like just pouting on my phone. And I'm not proud of this moment, but this was a time where my emotional state went down because of what I was thinking about, which was work and business and that job I wanted that I didn't get. And I was bummed out, and I felt anxiety, I would say. I felt like a victim kind of. I felt like, man, like it's not going my way. I was a little bit frustrated and a little bit anxious because I know I'm meant to do this next step, which is the high ticket coaching and consulting. So what ended up happening was it was a bad time at the park. My wife was upset at me because I wasn't present with her. I wasn't really being with her. I was there, but I wasn't really fully there, and so she was mad at me after that for an hour or two. And we came home, and I actually saw an email on my phone that I was offered a different job on Friday, the same day, about an hour later. And I think this one actually will be a better fit for me for right now to start out with. So I'm actually really happy about it. And but my whole point of showing this video is that like I've been meditating every single day for about 8 years straight. Like I've been meditating a lot. I've been working on myself a lot. And it doesn't really matter like, you know, how long we've been on this journey for, we've been going through this awakening for. It's like all of us have those moments where we go back down to the lower emotions. And I'll just pull up real fast like the lower emotions, because this is really the focus. When it comes to raising your frequency, you don't want to try to always be high vibe, because that's normally like a spiritual bypassing, where it's like if you're always trying to be like loving and blissful, like you're probably missing, you're probably like avoiding maybe some other emotions that you don't want to feel, because like they're not fun to feel, but we have to feel them to release them. So the lower emotions would be shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. And then once you hit courage, you get into like the middle, where anything above courage is essentially like positive. You're in that creator mindset. You're more powerful. Like you're more of a creator above courage. And it goes from courage to neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, and enlightenment. So what I want to hammer home in this video is the shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride. Those emotions are what we have to work on becoming aware of, because all we have to do, like our natural state is those higher emotions, that love, peace, joy, enlightenment. That's, if we were in a perfect world with perfect parents and perfect society and no bullshit media and no lies and no poison in all the food and everything, a lot of us, I think we would all be like at those high emotions, but we're not. We're in an imperfect world, right? So all we have to do is become more aware when we feel the shame, the guilt, the fear. And it's kind of crazy, because all we have, like a goal too, is you can label how you feel, right? So for me, last week at the park, I was feeling, I would say, mostly anxious, and I was feeling like a victim, kind of. I was just feeling like the world's not going my way at the time, and I was kind of just bummed out. But if we can just understand that even just shifting to the next emotion, like for example, if we're feeling shame or guilt, number one, become aware of it, feel it, and maybe tell yourself, okay, I'm feeling this shame, I'm feeling this guilt. Maybe ask yourself, where in my body is this happening? Where do you feel it at? And for me last week, I felt this anxiety, and I felt this kind of insecurity it was in my chest. It was like in my center of my body. So we can label it, we can see where it's at in our body, and then we can just try to shift to the next emotion. So for example, if we're feeling shame or guilt, if we can be aware of that, and then we can kind of maybe even get a little bit angry, because anger is higher than shame and guilt, right? So it's funny how we can go maybe from shame or guilt to, can we get a little bit angry? Maybe we go punch a pillow, we go to the gym, get a nice workout, and go for a run, get a nice, a way to get the energy out. And then going from anger, maybe we go to pride, we go to courage, neutrality, and then boom, we're up to the peace. We're up to once you get past courage and neutrality, you're in the positive emotions. So it's really, people talk about raising their vibe and all these different new age topics, and a lot of it's great out there on the internet, but the key is really to just let go and be willing to face the lower emotions. If we face the lower emotions and work on releasing them, which happens through awareness, then we're gonna be who we naturally are, which we are naturally those higher states of consciousness. So that's the shift. It's not trying to force those higher states and try to fake it or try to be like all loving when you feel like shit. No, like face how you feel. And know that no matter, like all of us have these moments where we go back down. It's just about what happens is on average, we can be in those higher states on average, like more of the time. And then things happen faster. We have more synchronicity. We're more in that flow state of life because we're more present. The past and the future go away, and we're just in this now moment. We're doing some work. We're gonna go for a walk. We're gonna have some family time. We're gonna go maybe watch some sports, or we're gonna just hang out, have some fun, play a board game, and then we're gonna go back and maybe do some reading. Like we're just in that flow of life. And the more we can release these lower emotions, the more you'll be in that flow. The more things will happen just effortlessly. You'll meet people, synchronicity everywhere. You'll have these coincidences and you'll have that job just fall into place. Why? It's because your energy has been elevated. And we elevate it by releasing the lower emotions. So this video gave you any kind of value, please give me a thumbs up. It helps the channel to grow a lot, and subscribe down below as well so you don't miss any future content. I hope you have a great day, my friend. April's gonna be a great month. So I'll be sharing more content very soon, and I'll see you later.